looking to elevate your business, then you need to advertise right here on Miss Lissa Knows. We are providing marketing, branding, and special promotions for anyone who has a new business. That means 1 year or less. You can email me at MissLissaKnows@gmail.com for details. And the show goes on.
Where would I be without my baby? The thought alone might break me, and I don't wanna go crazy, but every thug needs a lady, yeah, yeah, yeah. And the show goes on. So you and your brother were allegedly going to be in a rap group. That's what I heard.
No, never.
So what happened?
I told you we wasn't in a rap group. Why are you pushing us to be rappers?
That's what I heard through the grapevine, so I got to do my fact checks. So what was the deal?
No, in Murdering, there was the only thing that even resembles that. Like in the beginning, he was a DJ in a group that I managed. Mm-hmm. I never had aspirations of being on stage ever. Me, I never had aspirations to be behind the mic like I'm doing right now, ever.
You're such a good public speaker, though.
Well, that's one thing. I'm articulate.
Right.
Is that the right word?
Oh, articulatory. If you are down with
your word. But anyway, what I'm trying to get at is, again, I never had aspirations to be in front of the mic, behind the mic, or anything. I just wanted to take care of business, and I wanted to make sure my brother was good.
Right.
Now, there is one situation that happened with Irv and Ja, where at one point in time, Irv was gonna rap. And Ja was gonna sign a Ja Rule label and sign to Ja Rule just like Ja signed to him.
That's crazy.
He was gonna give it back that way, and I was
like
gonna
Diddy
manage.
and Biggie did, right?
Yes, or like Dr. Dre and Snoop and those guys.
Yeah, all those people.
So if you think about who Irv is, he's a producer. Again, is he a rapper? No, but what he used to do was get in the booth when he heard the lyrics and go say it.
Right.
And he wanted.
Did he ever do any ghostwriting?
Listen to me. No, he didn't really write.
Okay.
9 times out of 10, his delivery was better, and that's how they learned how to deliver the records than the artists. You understand?
Right.
So he knew how to actually say the words and make you feel it better, and that's where that whole concept came about, because he was so good in the booth to teach someone how to say or rap a song and deliver it to the track.
Well, that's so dope, and I just have to bring in my second guest because I feel like this is a great segment because he's killing the booth. He's a lyrical genius.
Facts.
Come on, Chris Rivers.
Yeah.
Bronx representative.
What an intro.
Son of Big Pun, lyrical genius, vegan, Puerto Rican. You vegan, right?
Yeah.
Trends.
So, I mean, before we even get into the conversations, I just really wanted to do this interview with the both of you together because on so many different levels that I feel like this is going to be great for the culture.
Right.
Because of the generational gaps. I feel like, the millennials don't even respect what you guys did. Come on, you're so witty. You're so witty. And to have, you have done so many legendary things. You're a legend in the making. Your father did so many great things. I feel like this is a great conversation. He is gearing his business towards independent artists. You're an independent artist. So if you sign something after this, I just want 2%.
And his name
no
is
milk.
Chris.
And Chris is
And you're both named Chris.
Facts.
So I just had to make this happen. So thank you guys both for even coming.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And before we went into break, there's too many Chris's, so now we gotta do Rivers. I'm gonna call you Rivers.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna call you Gotti.
That works.
I'm calling neither one of y'all Chris. I don't want to confuse nobody.
That makes sense.
Perfect.
I like that.
So before we went to break, Gotti was talking to me about some tips that he wanted to give to independent artists. So I just felt like this was the perfect time to bring you in, so you could hear, and maybe if you don't like some of his ideas because you want to come up, he already did all.
Right.
It's like being a chef and then you have a new person coming in and you trying to teach them how to make ramen, and it's like nah. I know how I like my ramen
noodles.
So,
yeah.
So what were your tips that you wanted to give Gotti?
The first thing I always try and tell independent artists, because they always want a manager or something, and I say just get someone that has your back,
right?
That cares about you, and let them go make mistakes. For someone to want to manage a brand new artist, it's so hard. Until you get a name or some type of established business going. Mm-hmm. there's no money there for you. So you want someone to really, you're asking someone that's generating revenue to stop what they're doing, to put time, energy, and effort in you. It just doesn't make sense.
For a vision.
Right? For a vision, for a dream, for your dream. And again, management is a rough business because I know a lot of great managers that may not get the accolades that other people get because they give their blood, sweat, and tears to the artists, and they get the artists. Most of them don't even respect what the work they did for them.
Right.
And that it's like a loveless business. As soon as the artist thinks you're not doing it, they're letting you go and getting someone else.
That's facts.
And it's a cold business, right? So I always tell them, get someone you love and trust and go make mistakes. I use what me and my brother did as a lot of this background information. So it's not like I'm not drawing from personal experience or doing it myself. I took care of everything for Irv. He never had to worry about someone stealing, robbing. He knew even if I made a mistake, it was for his best interest.
Right.
It was just a mistake.
Right.
So we didn't care. We just learned and kept moving. Okay, we know not to do that again, and then keep moving. And that's how you really get really good at what you start doing. And that's how I felt I took this business on in life. It's just I just kept making mistakes to learn and kept going. And I had my brother who was creative, who I never wanted. The other part of that is
Right.
a creative, you never want them to think business because God did that. I don't know what he did. He said one side of your brain is creative, one is analytical.
Yeah.
Right.
And I don't know any artist that is doing both at that way and being staying creative.
Do you mean any creator, like, or just mean musically?
Well, when you could think of artists.
Like any creator?
I think
just be, like,
anything
allowing-
creative, when you start thinking about the business, artists couldn't just put their music out. It had to go through a record label.
Right.
So
Pecking order.
if you think of today, even I said the number like 5,000, there's not even 5,000 signed artists in the United States. So at the end of the day, look how small the scale from 5,000 to 20 plus million. Like it's not, that's, so if I had to deal with 5,000 people, I couldn't.
Right.
Can't deal with 20 million people, man.
It's a lot.
And then to find, now think of the fan on the other end of that record trying to find which one they like.
Right.
That's why today's music is all over the way it is.
How do you deal with that, Rivers? Like, how do you, in this sea of all this artistry, like, how do you stand out?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it's highly competitive. You got to realize, like I appreciate you brought up both sides of the brain because it is, you do have to be creative just so you can put out the material, but you also have to be analytical in the sense of what's the best business decisions that I can make and who's my target audience and how do I access them. Because it's more than just like if people who are talented were the ones that were famous, then the people who were getting a shine right now would be totally different. Like if it was just based off of talent alone, it's more about the vibe, it's more about core followings and things like that. And it gets to the point where you have to realize who's my target demographic, who's my target audience, and how can I see who's winning in that audience and how can I top them. You know what I'm saying? So for me, like personally, like I try to, I develop my skill to the point that I know that I'm lyrically proficient, but I also needed to develop my song structures, my song making, and my versatility, so that when, like he said earlier, there isn't a lot of longevity. You got more people blowing up, one-hit wonders, than you got people lasting a long time. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that they can't adjust to a new wave. You know what I'm saying? Like, say you popping because of the current wave, and it's like, cool, now this wave is going to leave soon because people are fickle, and then what happens when the next wave comes? Can you make songs that coincide with this wave? So for that, like, I had to learn how to stay versatile, and as people get picked off, you realize and you learn from other people's mistakes, and you just keep grinding. You can't stop, you know what I'm saying? So put out good material, realize who to give it to, and keep going,
And your father, he passed away when you were really young.
6.
So, like, you wasn't even able to get that many gems and that from him.
Nah, but
so who's are your mentors or like people that you learn from?
I wouldn't say I have any mentors. I definitely learn from everything and everyone around me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there are a lot of mistakes. Shout out to Styles P, the Logs, and them. Like,
Are you working with them?
I made records with them. But those are like the big bros too. Like
Okay.
they definitely Styles gave me a lot of advice, like with the versatility thing and certain things. And ultimately he told me like have fun. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta have fun. Like
enjoy what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, I didn't pick a career that people dream for just so I could be stressed out as much as an accountant is. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it's one of those things. So like, yeah, like I definitely look at people, but it's even outside outside of hip hop. Like I get inspiration from people like my father, or you look at Bruce Lee where he talks about plateaus and he talks about constantly trying to overcome those. You look at Gandhi saying, "Be the change you want to be in this world," and you got to resonate that from within yourself. Like there's a lot of people that I derive, inspiration from because like I had to raise myself to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? My pops is gone. A lot of stuff happened with my mom. We was young. We was homeless. Like I had to figure stuff out. So I take inspirational lessons from what I get. But like you said, you either win it or you learn it. You never lose it. You know what I'm saying? So even when I make a mistake, I learn from it. If I'm winning, I learn from that too. So.
How did you life shift, and how did you recover after your father passed away?
Oh, it was gradual. Like he said, like I said, he passed when I was 6.
Right.
So it wasn't like we was like we went from rags to riches to rags. You know what I'm saying? So like we was, but like he said, he passed when I was 6. So I wasn't, as a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, I wasn't like, yeah, I got mad money. Like I'm just doing stuff that kids do. So it's not like I was like really like living that lavish life. But so when we didn't have the money, it was still the same for me because it was just like I got toys or I don't got toys. I didn't realize that I was poor or the effects of being fatherless till like like midway into like middle school, high school, other kids telling stories or seeing that this kid could get this and I can't, stuff like that. But like it's about like I would say the lowest point was like while we was in a shelter and like a lot of stuff was happening in life and I realized that one day I was really depressed. And the next day I wasn't, and I realized that my life was the same though, you know what I'm saying? So I realized that my happiness wasn't exactly determined by external sources, it was about how I felt on the inside. And in that same breath, I realized I'm like, I gotta choose happiness. I can't let my happiness be dictated by anyone or anything outside of me, you know what I'm saying? So with that, I learned how to empower myself and keep going and ultimately, got better from it and started being a better person, you know what I'm saying?
And live in the present.
Yeah, live in the present because you start because like right now everything's fine. Like you might have something that happened before this that bothered you. You might have something that you're thinking about is going to bother you. But if you take away that and you focus on right now, like we're okay. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like and that's really what it is. And I could wish, I could hope and I could dream. My father, him being who he is, taught me how to dream. My mother taught me how to dream. So I'm never afraid. Even if I'm not where I'm at supposed to be right now, it's never setbacks. It's all about setups. And I'm ready for it. Yeah.
Right.
Dope.
And with setbacks, even with the ink, you guys had a setback with some legal issues. Do you feel like that for you was like one of your lowest points? Gotti?
It was the most challenging.
Right.
I don't want to say lowest, but I was very ignorant to the fact that I didn't even know I did anything wrong, which I didn't. Right. So it was like I didn't know that all of those things that the government could put you through.
Just cause.
Yeah,
like just cause.
So
I was ignorant. I didn't do anything wrong, and I'm living my life like I didn't do anything wrong, but the government's on your back.
Right.
And they're basically stopping all your business everywhere around you strategically. I learned so much on how they move. So we was at the time billing 9 figures at Murder Ring, and they just cut that faucet right off.
Without you even being like convicted.
No, we was under investigation.
It's like Power. You watch Power?
I don't watch TV.
Okay.
I hear it's great. I haven't seen. I don't watch TV.
You don't watch it because you don't watch it, or you don't watch it because
only the last episode of anything I seen was
Martin.
Yeah, Martin. I watched all of Martin. Absolutely, and the Fresh Prince. Those are my shows. TBS and BET. That's it. I actually
punched the raccoon off.
That's my favorite. One of my favorite Martin episodes. That and when Gina went on vacation.
Martin is
classic.
These young kids, if you're not watching Martin, you gotta watch. It's classic.
Cultural stuff. Yeah.
It's classic. There's certain things that is timeless. Martin, that television show is timeless.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, that trial was. It was first started in 02, it ended in 04, end of 04, almost 05.
That's a trial.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
what made you not cop out? Because they only offered you like a year, and then 1 year for you, and then a year for your brother.
People. You're probably like the second person that ever asked me that question, and I tell you exactly what I tell everyone that has asked me that question, off air and on air. So 2 people on air, a bunch off air. I would never cop out to something I didn't.
Right.
And if it meant, God forbid, I was in jail to fight it because I'm wrongfully convicted, then that was God's path and that's what I'm dealing with. But at the end of the day, I'm not taking something that I didn't do.
Did you ever?
And all my friends that been through that system before was like, are you crazy?
Because the risk of what
Take
you were
that
taking
deal.
for trial, like you could have had way more years and more.
We was facing
bills
20
and-
years,
Yeah.
and the government probably figured, you know, their conviction rate is 98%. So they're probably figuring on that and all the things, and they're figuring that if we offer them a deal, they'll take it because they'll be able to keep doing business.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they came and told me at my house. They would come and say, just take the deal or you're going to be in jail like this guy and that guy.
What's the craziest thing they offered you to take the deal? Other
You
than
mean
like,
when you
like
say the
other
craziest
like
thing they
other like
offered?
outlandish like.
They broke all federal guidelines, I'll say that, to give me and my brother a plea deal. The last deal was no jail time, probation only.
Oh.
But a conviction and then you have to tell the story.
Right. Oh, they wanted you to. Okay. Do you ever regret meeting Supreme?
Never. So probably the reason I'm still here. See, what people don't realize either because of today's culture of hip hop is the stress hip hop was to just make a living in hip hop. So your dad knows all about it.
Right.
That whole Terror Squad knows all about it.
Yeah.
When I first met those guys back, well, really I met Joe first. We had a record, if you remember I said earlier, we did a record called Shit's Real.
Mm-hmm.
Fat Joe had a record called Shit's Real.
Right.
So when we ran into him, it was gonna be real.
Right.
That it was gonna be beef because that's what hip hop was.
Yeah.
So when we ended up doing the show at the Armory in the city, and we thought it was gonna beef. We're there. I geared up, got a bunch of dudes with me, but that's hip hop. That's what it was back then.
Right.
It was so competitive conflicts. For
Do you
everything.
feel like that's a good thing, and
It's
that's
what
what's
bred it.
missing now? Because
No.
everyone wants to be friends.
No, the
now
violence.
with hip-hop.
I'm talking about straight violence.
real
I don't
violence.
want to talk about
Rap
lyrical
figures.
content.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about physical violence. Okay, and this is what hip hop was back then. And here we are running to this Fat Joe from the Bronx, and it was all love. So I was like, all right, we don't have to fight this.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's where our mind was. That's how real it was back then. See, hip hop's not like that
Right.
today.
The people in it aren't like that.
No,
That's
they're
what
not.
it is. Yeah,
Listen, if you was a rapper, you didn't go out with your jury unless you had your whole team. Like, honestly, I look back in that era and I don't remember seeing nobody but Murder Inc., Rockefeller, Rough Riders,
Right.
you know, that would go out and party. And then you see Puff, you know, you see Bad Boy. Everyone else was in. When we would go on the West Coast and you would see not one LA artist, and all those gang members would be like, what y'all doing over here? Like, how are we out partying? We from New York.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But it would be real over there. See, that tension. Remember, hip hop was so small in the sense of you went to any city, it was maybe one club or two that played hip hop.
Right.
You go out now in New York, you got every club playing hip hop.
Yeah.
You couldn't find hip hop. You
Hip-hop
had to
just-
go to Harlem, you wanted hip hop.
Yeah, hip
You had
hop
to go
just
to
passed rock
Brooklyn.
for the most listened to music.
Hip hop is the new pop.
Listen to me, first of all, they lying. They been number one.
Yeah.
They just want. You know why they waited so long to tell you it's number one?
Tell me.
Because they know that corporate America now is gonna have to give up money.
Mm-hmm.
Once they want. This is with our culture. We are the pop culture.
Yeah.
Hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so our culture is the number one culture in music. It's been number one.
Yeah.
I have kings and queens that I know from Ghana, Nigeria, and they tell me is hip hop.
Yeah.
It's in every country.
world
There's
wants
no
to know
other
it,
genre
yeah.
of music that's in every
That
country except
transcends
us.
everything. Yeah.
It's it.
I have a question for you, hip hoppers. What's going on with the female rappers? Like, how come there's not?
I got an
enough-
answer for you.
Is it the same Rick Ross answer?
No, but yes, that plays
yeah,
a part.
I'm saying.
Listen to me, no, it's not the Rick Ross answer. I believe Ross, what up, was playing like he was being sarcastic.
No, he was being serious.
funny. Like, yeah, I'll be fucking with
He
him.
was being
That's why I don't
honest.
sign him. No,
He was telling you what the
you
lyrics
want to
mean.
know why he's not signing him? You want to get down to it? Cause you cost more money. It's fucking business. Women cost. Look at Chris right here. You understand? He could come out just like this and do it every day, and we will accept it. You cannot.
They're gonna get mad at
You
me.
gotta get hair done, nails done, makeup, new clothes, wardrobe. It costs. It's business.
And
That's the exact
There's
reason.
a lot more liability involved too.
Well, it's the exact reason why it's so
No,
harder to. Okay, you.
No, I'm talking about
you
the
gotta-
liability. No, I'm talking about the liability part. How come it's more of a liability when y'all the ones toting guns? I might throw some shade.
No,
but
no,
y'all
no,
throwing bullets.
I don't
What's the liability?
believe in the liability. I believe it's straight numbers. It's just numbers. It's
Okay.
math. It's business. We're in business. You're in business.
Right.
If I'm a label and I got a Shanti and it costs me I need the glam squad. Every time she fucking moves, I don't want to move her. It's just harder.
Right.
My margins get cut.
Right.
Now, if I'm talking about from the beginning when she's not making money, I'd rather go get an artist from the hood that's a man that doesn't cost me that.
It's easier.
It's cheaper.
It's cheaper.
It's business. She could be the dopest artist, but that, and again, they have their little swings and everything, you know.
So that means it's never going to be a change unless women start knowing
Women
how
have
to
to
do their own
empower
thing.
themselves. That's what I'm all here
Their own
for.
deals.
Adventure music. Figure it out. Let's go. Yeah.
What does it take for someone to be down with adventure music?
The will to want to win.
Like how there's
That's
constantly
it. You want to win, sign up. You
You
got to just go sign up.
And what made you decide to do an independent distribution deal as opposed to having a record label?
Okay, so apples and oranges. Don't compare the two. Distribution is not like Universal. Universal has distribution.
Right.
Every artist needs distribution. In any industry, you need distribution. You want to sell these hats, you got to get a distribution to get it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Anything, there's a distribution company. That's where the money's at in all businesses. You know, when you heard Kanye go on his rants about the clothing lines and all the, he's told those distributors don't want to put your shit everywhere, so you can't make the money.
Yeah. Can't buy it.
It's very political to get music distributed, right? Back in the day, before the internet.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay? So that's why I said when we was Mike Geronimo, we was independent. We did great for an independent, but we did shitty if it was a major record label, if you understand the difference. Right? And that's the game. The best independent label was, in my opinion, ever is Rap A Lot Records. We know Murder Inc. wasn't independent. We had a budget.
Right.
Universal funded us. We had the support of a major. You know, Bad Boy, everybody had the support of a major. So when you even look at Cash Money is an independent, but they had promotion and the power of Universal.
Right.
The only one that didn't have that was Jay Prince in Rap A Lot Records. So, you know, when I look at business-wise, I'm a businessman. I like to look at numbers and that. That's why I said when you ask about women, it's business reasons.
I just feel like women don't get the credit that they deserve. They don't get the recognition that they deserve. They don't get
My whole
the same
staff
push.
is women. I love women. Let me tell you something, and I tell all men they don't like it, but I
Because
say
women started hip hop,
Stop.
and we
women
not
are better.
getting it.
Don't do that. Don't
It's
do
like
that.
Hidden Figures.
Don't do that. They started hip hop.
Okay, we had a hand in it.
Hidden
and
Figures is a totally different
No, I said it's
story.
like Hidden Figures.
No, but that's a
not-
totally different story. They couldn't figure out how to land the damn plane without them women.
They couldn't get that party started
That
in
is
the
a
park
totally
in the dark
different-
without the sister of Kool Herc assisting in the production of the whole event that started it. So
What's
like,
her name?
That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, you gotta know it.
I can't tell you right now
Okay.
because she gotta get that distribution.
No, but again, that's with music. Again, you're an independent artist,
Right.
So I tell artists they only need two things. That's in any artist. I don't care if you're on a label or not. If you're independent, two things you want to be seen and heard. That's it.
Yep.
The next part is all on you. The hit record, the one that relates to the masses to make people want to move, dance, cry, laugh, joke, whatever it is
Right.
that music makes them go through. You have to create that as the artist. That has nothing to do with Universal, Warner Brothers, Sony, or Adventure Music, or any distribution company. That's all on the artist, and that's the part they don't get. It's really that simple.
You get that part, Rivers?
Oh yeah. So I mean, yeah, like I'm independent, and that's what we're trying to do. Like if people ain't feeling nothing from your music, then what's the point? Like,
Do you want
I
to
cheat.
remain independent, or is your goal to get a deal?
my goal is just to get to, like, I don't doubt my worth. Like
Right.
I'm not, and I know I'm at a position in my career right now where I'm on the cusp of something that if people that do come, and the people who have come, they try to lowball you because it's what they do when they want to get when they see a potential or something, they say, okay, let's get them right now. But I know what I'm worth, so we're not. I'm not X for a deal. Like I'm not like, oh, I need a deal. Like I know. No
But
matter
you
what,
want the deal.
Nah. Like I know I'm gonna make it regardless.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna make. So if something like it needs to make sense. If a deal comes to the table that makes sense.
So the deals, again, I said it earlier, but the deals don't come unless you're moving. Like, see, what happened once the internet came in, and this is no knock
There's
on
no
any
artist
artist.
development.
There's no artist development. So if
no A&R.
so again, business. Just
Yeah.
this is why I said you got to separate the business and the creative, right? So if you think just business, if I'm the record label Okay, if I'm Universal, the executive at Universal, I'm only looking to invest into something that's already generating revenue.
Yeah, that's going to be lucrative. Yeah.
It doesn't know. They don't know it's going to be lucrative, but they do know. See, the music business is based on catalog.
Mm-hmm.
So if you made a hit record, like your dad, his records will make money forever.
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, that's the game you're in. It doesn't matter you don't have that same hit record. That record you make today is going to make money 10 years later,
Of course.
20 years later,
Yeah.
if you do it right.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm trying to teach, is how to do it right, put it out right. So you own it, so it could be licensed,
Exactly. Yeah.
right? That intellectual property that you just created.
Yeah.
That's
That's
the record.
ideas for the people with GED, intellectual property.
Yeah.
That's your ideas.
That's the record that you create, that music, that composition. It means it's one-on-one. That's really intellectual
Exactly, yeah.
property means it's just unique. That's, to me, the simplest way to make someone understand if they don't
Right.
know what it means. It means it's unique. We're intellectual properties. We're unique. So if you think when you sign a deal, they take your name, your likeness,
Yeah, they take-
because you're unique
And
you're
and
one-of-one.
The biggest thing that I don't want to, like I said, like if a deal does come to the table, it's got to make sense. Like those things need to be established. And on top of that, like I still need to have creative control.
You know,
And-
that's my whole let's say plight right now is to educate artists. When you say
Right.
make it make sense, someone getting a deal. I'm trying to teach people to be independent, but I'm not knocking you from getting a deal.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so but I do want you to do one thing, and that's understand what you're giving up when you do get the deal. So then,
Yeah.
you know, we're grown up, so you know, you make your bed, you lie. Meaning, don't be upset when you don't when they take X, Y, Z from you.
Exactly. And that's my
Understand it, and know
Yeah.
it's for a finite amount of time.
Yeah,
It's
of
not
course, of
forever. You could get it back. You may not be able to get the masters,
Not everything.
the
Yeah.
ownership back, but you can get your life back to create something else
Of course.
and own that.
And but that's why I say
In
by
perpetuity.
that's why I say by make sense, because it's got to be one of those things like you know, nothing set in stone obviously, but you know, like music, especially artists and hip hop, there's a finite amount of time in which your buzz is relevant. Like
Yeah.
I've seen people get shelved,
Yeah.
and then their whole career dies because they're focused on the primary artist, and then they put those on the back burner. By the time they come back out, their fan base already moved on to a different
You know,
place.
again, see, I'm from the other side of the fence, right? You're from
Right.
the artist side, looking out in.
Right.
I'm from the inside, so I'm gonna say 9 times out of 10 that if they got shelved, it's because they didn't make the record that moved the needle. That was getting the response that the label
fell.
That the
would
label,
do
but
that.
again, labels have a way. They're in the system, right? They have a way of figuring out if something's hot or not.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work in their system, they're gonna say, okay, that record's not hot.
Granted, I do get that, but it's one of those things.
They might have serviced it to all of the program directors, and the program directors said it's no.
What about
Exactly,
that payola? They ain't
that-
gonna pay payola.
and that's my gripe, because it's like say you're the label in a hypothetical situation, you're the label and you're looking for a specific thing that you feel is going to get you a specific result, right? And me as an artist, I'm like, all right, I built the fan base, I got these people, and I may not have a record that's going to give you that specific result, but this is going to keep me relevant to my fan base and build me up still. But you not allowing me to release that record because it didn't fit your specific. Now my fan base is dying,
Right.
and I'm going to be gone
because
now.
it's business.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I know it's
So
no, I'm
my
not
business,
blaming
if
it.
I got to put that record out, it may cost me X,
Exactly.
Y, Z.
But that is
and
why.
that return isn't coming back, then I'm cutting my losses.
Exactly. So I don't
from a
blame the-
business or the
Yeah.
executive standpoint.
Of course, I don't blame
And
the
artists
label at
just
all.
don't understand that because this any composition they make, that's their baby.
Right.
They
And it's like this. If I drew a 6 right here, I'm gonna see a 6. You're gonna see a 9. Like we're both right. Neither of us is wrong, but it's two different perspectives. And that's what I mean. Like the label's fine, but if my thing is like I get what you're saying, and I agree with their move because they don't want to lose our money, but at the same time, I don't want to lose on my fans. So if that's going to cause a complication, I'd rather not have that relationship in which that you're going to take a loss and I'm
again,
going to
what
take
I
a
will
loss.
tell you is,
You
again,
know?
a lot of times those artists, because it is their again, I'm not arguing for labels, I'm just giving you
Right.
insight that you might not be thinking
Of course,
about.
of course.
So most of those artists, and I've seen it firsthand, they don't realize they get stagnated on it because they believe on this record so strongly.
Right.
And the label already did what they had to do, and they were like, no, it's not going to go. And they came back to tell them, we got to get another. And they're like, no, that's what I want because it's their creation.
Yeah.
It's their baby.
Which I understand.
So they want to
like,
make sure they get it out. And it's like, I understand that, but from the business standpoint, it's like, I don't want to lose $1 million either.
Right, and it's that balance, because it's like when moves become more tactical than artistic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you want both, but like me as a person, like because I'm a very logical person. Like I said, when I say make sense, it's like I'm willing to sacrifice certain things for a greater gain.
Right.
I'm willing to take one step back to take 2 forward. Like I get that, but there's certain things. It's like when it gets a little flaky in situations like that, then it starts getting like, I don't know, it seems complicated. And me personally, like, I really had nothing. Like, when I say homeless and nothing, like sleeping on benches, like, I had nothing. I really created this dream. Same thing you said, like, it's not about finding a man. Like, my cousin manages me. Like, he's like my big brother. He's like a person I, you know what I'm saying, look up to. So, in the beginning, again, he wasn't making money. He's like, yo, I believe in you.
Yeah.
Let's do this. You know what I'm saying? So we did all that. And we created this from nothing. Like, this is literally something I created. So imagine having a child that you made and then you give that to someone else. Here's my kid. Control it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, I'm willing to do that if, like, all right, you're gonna, like, if I believe, if it feels good and on paper it's right and you're not trying to murder me, you're not and I get 360 deals because they're not making the same money off of sales. They're not making the same money off of sales. So you have to make money off of merchandise. You have to make money off of shows. It's all gone. I get it. Trust me, and I've read those books, like everything you know about the music. I know everything. Like, not everything you're saying. Like, you dropped a lot of gems on me, but like it's still one thing. Like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, it's like me personally. Like, I know where I'm going, and if the road I'm taking is going to do this or it's going to do this, it doesn't matter. I'm still getting to the top of that mountain, and I got to do it in a way that really resonates in my heart, because I know for a fact you are not buying my happiness. I cannot buy my happiness, and you cannot buy my misery.
But again, what you're saying, so it represents independent. Everything you're saying represents independent.
Right, I haven't that, but like I said, I'm not crazy. Like, if something comes to the table that's like, yo, this makes too much sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm also not going to turn it down.
How about
like,
this? What if it's a deal and it's 4 albums? You know, four albums of
4 albums seem too long.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
You could cut all 4 of those in 1 year. This is 2017.
That's
6 songs an
That's
album.
what I was about to say. I just listening because
I seen that.
That is again.
Done. Give me on my contract.
But you know how they do it. You know what they do. It's like very.
I know how majors work. They're not gonna you're not gonna drop 4 albums. If on a major, they're not gonna let you drop 4 albums. They want to let the first one get the
You gotta have something there.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Again,
I can knock out 4 albums in a year. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, that's easy.
Yeah, that ain't hard. You know what I'm saying? But it's still one of those things that's just like, how long? Because they get to decide.
Right.
When do I release this?
No, they get to decide on the music you put in your album.
Exactly.
They say we're not accepting that record.
Exactly. We say, okay, so now you're prolonging the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, so in that sense, I would need to have like,
what kind of deal would be like the ideal deal for you? Like, okay, I like this.
I mean, honestly, it's one of those things where I'm looking for more. Distribution makes more sense to me than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's how because it's one because again, I'm not one of those people, like, I haven't been looking for a deal, so I haven't been looking for my ideal deal. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I know like people who have like the biggest things about labels that resonate with me is the connections.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you're part of like if I'm signed around, Jay-Z could call anybody he wants or whoever it is at the top of the label. He's not gonna do it. But I'm saying he's not perfect.
Jay, what up?
I'm giving a hypothetical example. Like,
no, you know, I had a situation that I was part of, like when J. Cole was with Jay.
Right.
And basically we told J. Cole, like,
it's not.
You're asking Jay, he's not gonna do that.
This. Yeah.
You have to get your shit going.
Yeah,
he did it. I love J. Cole. And what he did is amazing. Yeah. What he did is amazing. And then now Jay could make calls because it makes sense for him.
Right.
Yeah.
No one wants to, you know, I tell all the artists, they always say, they come to me and they like, oh, you could get me to this artist and I get a feature with this one or that one. And I'm like, why does that artist want to do a feature with you?
Because it's a favor for a homie.
I know about it.
It's on to you.
With that verse, see, you're saying like that. It's not like it's John Doe from the Bronx. They talking about Drake or French Montana. Those verses, those words, those lyrics are worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Okay, so why should he give that to you?
Yeah, for what? How's it going to benefit him? How's it going to benefit him?
What's the exchange? Yeah. So you want me to use my favor, my bullet
on you?
So what do I get out of it?
Exactly.
If you Rick Ross, you get in this box. But
look, I can set that up.
No, I'm good.
Ross, what up? Right?
My shit gonna taste like lemon pepper.
Lemon pepper everywhere.
With you being, you're like one of the illest, like out, like lyrically, your songs are so dope, the beats are dope, and then to top it off, you are the legacy of the nicest ever.
Right.
What do you feel? Do you feel like there's a disconnect, or are you content with where you are and the growth?
Oh, growing wise, yeah, I'm super proud of my growth. Like this last project I put out, DeLorean, it's my favorite one. It's the first one I could actually listen to without cringing. Like,
okay.
my music before, like I didn't I didn't like it. You know what I'm saying? A lot because I got pushed and pulled in a lot of different directions. When people say you got to sound like this, and I ain't have my own voice and my own like opinions.
You still don't have your own voice. When I close my eyes, I hear your father.
You know what I'm saying? No, that's
you
my
sound
voice.
just like him.
That's my voice.
Do people tell you that you sound just like him?
All the time, yeah.
That's so dope to me. Like I just think that's
especially
so
when he was slimming. When he gained more weight, like it got a little more.
I had the pleasure,
you know,
meeting your father.
Facts.
Man, so funny, witty.
Yo, his charisma was
crazy,
bro. Yeah.
And I was at, God bless the dead. I was at the wake also.
Right. Yeah, it was at Ortiz funeral home.
Yeah, I was right there.
The streets were flooded.
You know, like I said, Joe's like my brother. So
yeah.
I did a lot with Joe.
Do you feel like your dad gets the respect he deserves?
Nah.
Because these millennials don't have no respect.
Now you know what the problem with that also. His greatest pun is it's just I say with Biggie's people could get mad if they want, but he doesn't have the body of work. You know, and I love Biggie. Don't get me wrong, Playboy man, amazing. You know that era, those guys was amazing.
Facts.
You know, pun amazing. You know, and charisma, you know, personality, and it's like we got cheated. Yeah, in a sense, because we didn't get the rest of their music.
He really only made 2 albums. Really,
one and a half
because during the end of it, was
so the one that Ashanti that we was talking before with Ashanti when she got on that record, that's how I got her on. That's how I made Irv listen to it, because I kept going to Irv when I got this girl that's singing.
You was passing on her.
Irv was like, I'm focused on Rule. I don't want to hear nothing else. Irv was about this.
Right, tunnel vision.
Tunnel vision.
Yeah.
And I recommend that for any artist.
Yeah, you need to focus.
You gotta focus. That's why you have to have someone in your corner to help
so you can wear your
so
hat.
you could do what you gotta do,
so
and everyone gotta do their job.
Yeah.
Play your position.
And
it's all a position in this whole
scheme
of thing. And he kept telling me, and then when I brought her to Joe, I seen Joe, and Joe told me he needs someone to sing on his record. I said, I got a new girl. And I went and got her, brought her in. Shawty, what up? The little hood rat got in there studio and she did that thing.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Do you feel like you can do the same thing that you did for Ashanti with Instagram model now? That could sing?
Yeah, it costs money. Like what we did with her, it costs money. It's like the time, the energy, the grooming. Don't get me wrong, I don't want to discount who she is. She's a beast. And she put in the work. I cannot make someone put in work and grow and elevate and graduate, you know what I'm saying? From being from here to there. She put in the work. That's all her. You can't, I could be with anyone, they don't put in the work. There's nothing I could do. And this putting in work doesn't mean you're showing up. It means you're actually physically thinking, learning, and growing.
Yeah.
Okay? Just because you're in the studio don't mean you putting in work.
Yeah, music is like actually like 10% of this.
That's nothing.
Yeah, like you really
she
so
took
much more to it.
All the information that Irv was given as a producer and turned it to song.
Right. And she's
that's an artist, and like she's a dope artist.
And she's still snatched.
Listen.
Her body's still looking good.
Snacks.
That face looking good.
Snack season.
Come on. She out here looking good. Would either of you guys ever do Love and Hip Hop? I could so see you on it just dropping knowledge just like Apples.
No. I was rich. You know, Mona's my girl. Mona was good.
I could see you on it too. You could do
I was gonna do a reality show for Adventure Music because when I pull in the cities, but for me not to be on.
I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of like reality shows kind of like most of the time destroy like the rapper's career.
Look at Cardi. She ignited something. She was a stripper.
Oh yeah, no, but she
had nowhere to go
but please don't use the exception as the rule.
Right.
No, but I don't think she's the exception in the sense of she wasn't a rapper before that.
No, she wasn't.
She was a stripper before that.
She became a rapper after. She
again, and Cardi B is dope. Shaft, what up? Like, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, yeah, I love her. At the end of the day, she wasn't a rapper beforehand.
What about Remy?
Remmy's on there sporadically.
They do it right, but it did not hurt her career.
Yeah, like it's not like it didn't hurt. What's her name? K. Michelle. It's not hurting K. Michelle.
Right.
Okay, because it's done right.
So if Rivers went on there.
No, but here's the thing. Like I don't like. And despite that, like that, because that's one of the.
And maybe she even slide you in through Remy, like she would have.
Nah, you know what it is. Like despite that, like it's still one of those things. It's like it's too much. Like I'm already a rapper. I put my whole life out there. Like
right.
I don't want cameras for. And I've seen reality shows. They're not real. Like they're not real.
It's
not to put them on blast, but they're not real at all. And I'm not about to act a certain way and like
they're real in the sense of reaction
and get the drama. Yeah, because it's in reaction wise, but the drama and then to put
because
so
they're
much
told
drama,
what to
like,
go into.
Yeah,
like they said, okay, you got beef with him, we're gonna put y'all in the room.
Yeah, we're gonna
shoot.
Yeah, we're gonna. We're gonna.
It's even worse. You don't even know who's showing up.
You know what I'm saying?
We're gonna have a party,
and it's pulling on the strings as ignorance too. And I'm just like, nah, like they the watchers probably won't find me interesting because I'm not with all that dumb ignorant shit. Like I'm just not like I just can't do it.
I respect it.
I just can't.
Speaking of love in hip hop, can you have both? Can you have a healthy relationship and still be a credible artist?
Yeah,
why not?
How do?
But you know what?
You know hip hop doesn't
not
celebrate
fair.
love.
Hold on, stop.
You don't celebrate.
Time out. Can you have a healthy relationship not in hip hop?
Yeah,
God damn.
as a janitor, can you have
But it's
a
even harder when you have groupies.
Word.
It's even harder when you have you're being propositioned. You have certain things going on.
Well, what's a
Plus
healthy relationship? Like that's what it is. Like if you're in a healthy
What if
relationship,
you cool with me being with another woman?
You know what
I'm
saying?
not.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you gotta
I'm
tell me
not.
that, baby.
I'm not.
Exactly.
You ain't never told me that.
I did. Day one. Welcome. Nice to meet you, Cole.
and it's one of those things like temptation is always there, but
Right.
even if you're a regular dude, like granted there's more temptation, and it's one of those things where it's like, yo, like if you're in a healthy relationship, then you're being honest. You can't have a healthy relationship without being honest.
Are you in one now?
And if I can, that's personal. But if
A woman is getting offered every day anywhere she goes. She's getting offers from somewhere.
But that's
So
the
when they
difference.
tell, look,
famous or not,
if it was up to a man, it's called rape. That's why it's rape, because if it was up to us, it would be everybody. It's not up to us.
Yeah, and plus that
women have all the control. They just don't know they got the power.
I know, and I'm going to let y'all know that y'all have the power. I know, okay? I know.
And plus, I mean, I don't know if it's society or whatever it is, but monogamy is just a strange thing. Like
that's because of millennials.
You know, it's not.
Instagram, swiping left, all of these social media.
No, monogamy ruined it. Monogamy is not natural, bro, and that's why. Like, imagine.
You're talking like a lion.
I'm saying no. I'm not saying monogamy. I'm not saying monogamy is wrong, but most relationships get ruined because of monogamy.
I think most relationships get ruined because of Instagram.
No. Before that, most relationships get Instagram, boom, and then why? Because of Instagram, because monogamy.
Tell you why.
Because monogamy. Yeah,
so you saying that you think a man should have more than one lady?
Not just a man. I think that's what I'm saying. Like,
you have everybody having a clap.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's dirty and be unhygienic. What I'm saying is this: essentially, I'm 23, right? And most 23-year-olds, you know what I'm saying? I'm not speaking about myself, you know what I'm saying? But I'm saying like most people don't want to settle down yet, but most people find someone that they love. Now, there's a confusion that sex is the ultimate epitome, the biggest expression of love when it's not.
It's not.
You know what I'm saying? It really isn't. In addition to that love is something that you can only experience for one person. Love is an emotion like happiness. If you make me happy, he can make me happy, she can make me happy. Why can't I love you, love him, love her? You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's one of those situations where, you know what I'm saying? You can love a lot. And you do not have a finite amount of love. Because you love this person doesn't mean you can't love that person. But because of that, because humans are so obsessed with owning and being possessive and territorial, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. But because you want to own someone, you don't give them the opportunity, because that person might have to
share, but only on my own terms.
Exactly. Yeah. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying there's always obviously like everyone involved needs to be open and honest with each other. Everyone involved needs to be comfortable and obviously shit like that. But at the same time, monogamy is like, I've seen it happen a dozen of times, whether he cheats or he feels like he can't do something, so he feels like he's missing out. Or she cheats. Or no, because
listen, y'all not gonna do this.
Listen, I got mad female friends and they are dogs too.
That's because we're tired of being dogged out.
No.
It takes a lot of women.
Nah,
they're both.
What did Michelle say?
You know
they go low,
you know what's
we go high.
Exactly.
Act like that.
You know what's the issue?
I need my Michelle.
The separation.
I need my Michelle.
It's not about guys being dogs or girls
You
being dogs.
Beyonce. No one, you want a Michelle.
It's like humans are dogs. That's what it is. Humans themselves are dogs. And because we're not supposed to be with one person. We're not supposed to be. You can be, and it takes a lot of work.
You know what? I don't. Again, with you could be with one person.
No, you can't.
You know what it takes? It takes you to be ready.
Honestly,
Betty Shabazz, Malcolm X's wife, said, because you know her and Claretta always had beef.
Right.
You know,
they like Nikki and Kev.
But you know why? Because Martin was out cheating.
Yeah, I heard that.
Martin was out there.
I heard that with the
Malcolm
white women.
Wasn't. So her beef, her comeback to Claretta was, yeah, I got Malcolm when he was ready.
Right.
Oh,
And
So
that's
you
what
didn't think about Malcolm X's life and his career.
Yeah.
He was out doing all types of shit. But when he became Muslim and then he found his wife, Claretta,
Right.
he was with Claretta. There was
Right.
no one else. So he was ready as a man. I understand that as the older you get, like you're 23, there's no
100%.
way he's ready at 23.
Well, are you ready? How old are you?
I'm 50.
You ready yet?
Not yet.
No, but that's
Not
because
yet.
I don't
It's
want people-
coming though.
Yeah.
Listen.
75. It's another 25.
And it won't be a 75-year-old with me.
And
I
we know
promise
that. We know
I
that.
don't want people to think
No,
that's what
but
I
go,
mean,
baby.
That's what it is.
That's
Like,
all, but go.
it's about when you're ready. And on top of that, you shouldn't base whether you're ready or not based on what society tells you is the correct age or when you're supposed to do something because everyone else is doing. Everyone's getting married at 30, so
But listen,
I need to get married.
Let me
no,
say
like,
something. She
that's
asked me a
how women
question. So
are.
real rap. You asked me if I'm ready. I'm not ready for a reason though. See, the reason is because the way I'm working. It's not fair. A relationship is a relationship. It's very hard. Now, if it
Takes
came,
time and dedication,
and some woman came to me and it made sense that that's what it is, while I'm out running around in the streets, going to all these cities all over the world, and building this business, and she doesn't understand it, or if she's not in the same
You gotta
white
find your
space,
cookie, Lucius.
I ain't got time to find my cookie. My cookie gotta find me. It'll come to me. Don't
That's the
think-
problem. Y'all men want to be courted nowadays.
No, no.
Yeah, what you mean? I gotta find you. Are you on Tinder?
No, I just said it. See what's the problem is? That's the problem. I got no time. I have to make the
Now you love
sacrifice for
him.
the time.
Now you ain't got no time.
No, I'm working. I'm
Okay,
building. I'm
yeah.
building something that's gonna
You're
change
building
the
an
world.
empire.
Facts.
Yeah, facts.
That's gonna change the world.
Yeah.
That's what this is about.
And it's
So
a
now,
focus
if you want
for
me
you.
to stop that, what is that? No, you shouldn't
you
be wanting
offering?
me to stop it. You should know. Not stop. Join me. And if
Yeah.
I don't find that partner like that, then I don't want it.
That's true.
And it's
right.
no problem with me telling you we good.
It's about being honest.
What's wrong?
And being
That's all
comfortable
I
with
am.
yourself.
Would you date someone in the industry? I'm giving that to both of you as a
Of
question.
course.
What? Why not?
Of course.
It feels a little weird. I've never dated
I-
someone in the
I-
industry.
I
I,
don't-
I gotta be
I-
creative.
I never
Don't be
not-
over here having diva moment that we both gotta ride up.
I never
no,
not
nigga,
dated
you not
someone-
Jay. I'm Beyonce, you Tata. Now go
Ooh.
back.
Yeah.
The heart of a lion. Don't you ever forget it.
Yeah, I never specifically was like, I'm never
Ty, what
gonna
up?
date
She don't know
someone-
no better.
Yeah, I'm never gonna date someone of X because of X thing because they're part of that X thing.
But you as a star, she might take your shine.
no,
like,
you
she
can't
might-
take,
she
you
might
can't take
take
my
care
shine.
of me.
I have my shine. She has her shine.
I need a
You
sugar
can't
mama.
take my shine. You can't
But
take
you
my
want
gold.
somebody that's gonna
The last
support.
dragon. You
Can
can't
you
take
find
my
me a
gold.
sugar mama?
You can't take my
Hey yo,
gold.
Leroy, I want to take a quick break because when I come back, I want to play a game that I made up with you two.
Okay.
It's gonna be super fun.
Can she take care of the bills?
That's not the game.
I'm asking the questions
He's like,
here.
that's my game.
No, I don't think you want the woman to take care of the bills.
Shit.
I'm taking care of the bills right now when I take this break. So you keep it locked right
We'll be
here.
right back.
Look at you, Denzel. Something I want to tell you. There's something I've been thinking that your crew should know. Big Pun is the largest man, straight up the projects, man. Damn, I'm killing you, Ashanti. I'm talk singing. Come on, and the show goes on. We're back. Sitting with me
You don't
are
recognize a man sitting
two
in
legendary Chris's.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
Chris Gotti
That's me.
and we have Chris Rivers.
That's him.
And before we went to break, I wanted to play a game with you guys when we came back. I made this game up. I love games. So this game is called Industry versus in the Streets. So I'm gonna give you guys scenarios,
Right.
and you tell me whether you would, keep it, calm and handle it in a certain demeanor, or if you would elevate it a little bit and take it to the block. Ready?
We might be getting yang on this.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it in the streets.
You catch
In the
your
industry.
man's, which is your homeboy. You catch your homeboy looking at your girl's butt. You gonna take that industry to keep it calm? Just let me holler at you real quick, or you going off?
No, I'm just talking to him.
Listen, I'm just gonna talk to him because at the end of the day,
I looked at her
the
butt.
bitch look right.
Yeah, I looked at her butt.
The ass is right. I would be looking to him like, listen, nigga, just keep it right
Now, if he
there.
walked up to her and slapped her in the ass
Yeah,
and
just
grilled me,
looking.
then yeah, like that's different. But
That's
if you
why
just-
she doing.
yeah.
She doing it for me.
And what about if this is like a sidebar question? Because I was talking about this last night with my friends. If you were dating a woman, right?
Yeah.
And y'all been together, let's say a month, and then you bring her to your friend's house for like a dinner,
After
and
a
then
month? No, I'm just kidding.
2 months, whatever your timeline
2 years.
is.
Let's go.
It's only been 2 months. It's early on, but you really do like this girl,
Right.
and you're mingling amongst the crowd, and then she realizes that one of your friends comes in, and she realizes that she had sex with that friend before you,
Right.
Okay.
and she tells you.
Okay.
What effect does that have on your relationship? You good? Does it matter? Like,
It does.
he didn't know.
If you're insecure, I guess it has some effect. Or
Listen to me, even if you're not, you're gonna feel it.
It
you're gonna
feels
It's your
so.
boy. You said it's your boy.
Yeah, it's your boy.
Yeah.
It's not like
Yeah.
an
Like,
embarrassment.
Damn.
you know,
You gonna feel it, but
Yeah.
you gonna get past
Yeah,
it.
the
If you-
awkwardness comes like about what is their current dynamic and how is their dynamic going to be when, because if he's my boy, like if we hang all
They're
the
gonna be
time
around
and
each
she
other.
like, how are they going to interact? You know what I'm saying? Like if it's
That's my
cause,
cup of soup. I don't
Yeah.
need you tasting my cup
you know what I'm
of
saying?
soup. Damn.
Because me personally, like I had chicks, you know what I'm saying, say back in high school, I had, you know, chicks I said like, if I see him today, I'm not gonna have any sorts of feelings, romantic or sexual feelings, so on. So totally no, like I forgot it. I could forget it even. Like I don't need to look at you and remember that. So
Right.
if that's the case, where if it's really platonic between them, really is nothing there.
She don't even have to tell you, right?
No, she need to tell me.
Okay.
No, she need to tell me.
Okay, I don't know.
Because
If she wants to keep it right, she's supposed to
She
tell
gonna
you,
tell
because
you.
what
You
if
need
he
to
tell you?
Yeah.
Then you gonna be like, bitch,
Exactly.
you was lying.
And you're
You
taking
told
away
that
his
in.
ability to choose.
You can listen to this podcast in its entirety on MissLissaKnows SoundCloud, iTunes, and of course on extrememixradio.com.